This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Welcome to Friday, June 11th.
Well, a wildfire in Sandy Valley continues to burn. At this point, more than 1,500 acres have been scorched by the flames.
The Sandy Valley fire started around 1:30 Thursday afternoon on Sandy Valley Road, about 2 miles west of State Route 160. And by early today, it had grown to approximately 1,500 acres. The fire is burning on Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service administered lands. Authorities say it was human-caused, and an investigation by BLM law enforcement is already underway. Thursday evening, a huge plume of smoke was being generated by the fire and could be seen throughout the Las Vegas Valley. The BLM reports firefighters made good progress overnight in the lower elevation on the west side of the fire. Today, aircraft were dropping retardant to stop further fire growth to the north in an effort to eliminate impacts to Mountain Springs and the Potosi Pass Road area. No injuries have been reported and roads in the area remain open. No structures are in immediate threat, with the closest being about 1.5 miles away. The Forest Service says the fire behavior is extreme and is burning pinyon, juniper, grass, and brush. Firefighters from BLM, the U.S. Forest Service, National Park Service, Nevada Division of Forestry, and Clark County are actively working to suppress the fire.
On Thursday, December 10th, a group of 40 cyclists set out on a 130-mile ride. It was an annual tradition that would take them from the M Resort Spa and Casino in Henderson through Searchlight to Nipton, California, and back. Some of the riders were on a retirement ride, celebrating one in their group. Then, tragedy struck. Jordan Alexander Barson was driving a box truck under the influence of methamphetamine. He struck a group of 20 cyclists. 4 men and 1 woman died at the scene, and 1 was injured and airlifted to a hospital in critical condition. At first, law enforcement didn't think impairment was the cause, just a tragic accident. But later, blood tests revealed Barson had more than 9 times the amount of methamphetamine in his system needed to be considered legally impaired at the time of the crash. Nevada Highway Patrol body camera footage shows a very upset Barson just after the crash being interviewed by NHP and working through field sobriety tests. On Wednesday, Barson was sentenced. He had entered a guilty plea in April to 2 counts of DUI resulting in death. He originally faced 5 counts of DUI resulting in death, 2 counts of DUI resulting in substantial bodily harm, and 7 counts of reckless driving. The courtroom was filled with family and friends, and District Court Judge Beta Yeager, holding back tears, called the 2-day hearing emotional and difficult. Barson was sentenced to serve the maximum sentence of 16 to 40 years. A memorial to the 5 bicyclists that were killed is located in downtown Summerlin. It is a white 5-person bike placed by Ghost Bikes Las Vegas. The group advocates for safety for all people that use roads and streets. You can visit the Ghost Bike Memorial in downtown Summerlin in front of Public School 702 in the shopping district, and there are plans to move the memorial around the valley as well.
Well, we're going to show you a picture of a person that Ash Meadows Rangers are asking to identify. The public, they want to know if you know this person. Rangers are seeking information about an adult woman and a group of juveniles who were caught swimming in the Rogers Springs in the past 2 weeks. The party in question later discovered and broke the camera, but Rangers were able to recover that SD card. Rogers Springs houses both the Ash Meadows Amargosa pupfish and the Ash Meadows speckled dace, 2 endemic fish found nowhere else in the world. By swimming in the springs, it's possible to harm the fish directly by killing them, by stepping on them, splashing them out of the water, or something else. More importantly, they can be harmed indirectly through trampling the algae and also the other things that the fish use to forage on, breed, and hide. The algae is where the fish eggs are deposited, so crushing these eggs could also have an impact. Also, by kicking up the substrate, more silt begins to enter the system than is typical. This could also change the water levels and affect the installed fish barriers if not caught in time. Furthermore, swimming in the springs introduces chemicals such as sunscreen, skin lotion, and more. These can be harmful to native fish, spring nails, and other species present in the system. Swimming in the springs can also affect the biosecurity of the system and inadvertently introduce invasive species or pathogens. All of these factors could influence how the population does that year and for years to come. It is for all of these reasons that swimming is prohibited in all springs on the Ash Meadows Wildlife Refuge. If you know the identity of the woman in the photo or information about swimming in closed springs at the refuge, please contact Rob Peloquin. You can email him at robert_Peloquin@fws.gov or give him a call, 702-283-8136. That's 702-283-8136. And if you're listening on our radio station, you can, of course, see that picture of that person that they're asking about on our local Pahrump Facebook page. We'll return in just a moment with more news.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Traders and investors are watching developments from the G7 summit. Consumer prices are heading up, and the number of people applying for unemployment is going down.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, traders and investors will be closely watching President Biden as he meets today with world leaders at the G7 summit. Among the highlights on Biden's agenda, creating a fair and sustainable global trading system that includes a worldwide 15% cap on taxes, curbing coronavirus, and resuming travel between the UK and the US. Checking the US economy, the Consumer Price Index, a key indicator of inflation, rose 5% in May, the biggest jump in everyday prices since 2008. The number of Americans applying for unemployment fell to 376,000. That is the sixth drop in a row. And household wealth reached $136 trillion, mostly due to gains from the soaring stock market.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. Well, the 5 public defender contracts for Nye County were up for renewal at the most recent Board of County Commissioners meeting. Some names you may recognize retained their contracts, and the board voted to give contracts to some new names.
Contracts for the public defenders will conclude at the end of June, which may leave some defendants with new representation. This could mean continuances for some defendants as their new representation takes time to learn their case, which the court is willing to allow for. Several of the candidates applying for the contracts were on hand to speak to their capabilities. Attorney Jason Ernst explained to the board that some changes of laws will increase the workload for public defenders. He said that costs will go up and the price of public defenders' contract has not changed in 8 years. Ernst also said that caseload is very large in the southern part of the county and they will likely need an additional 2 attorneys to help handle the work. One of the candidates, Alexis Decker, explained that she and her husband recently purchased a lot next door to her grandmother, who has lived in Pahrump for 30 years. She said that before she knew there was a contract available with the PD's office, she had already purchased billboards here because she had a plan to expand her practice to the area. The 5 public defender contracts were awarded to Ronnie Boscovich, Alexis Decker, Jason Ernst, Nathan Gent, and Nadine Morton.
A collision this afternoon in Pahrump leaves 2 vehicles with considerable damage, but no one was seriously hurt.
Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, and Nevada Highway Patrol were dispatched for a 2-vehicle crash that occurred this afternoon on Highway 160 and Basin Avenue. All occupants declined to be transported to local medical facilities at the time of the crash. Both vehicles sustained major damage. The crash was between a gray SUV and a red Chrysler sedan. Traffic was diverted around the crash while the investigation was conducted and cleanup of both vehicles. Well, a Reno man is under arrest after facing a charge of animal cruelty after his dog died while en route to Pahrump.
Barry Smith was booked into the Nye County Detention Center on 1 count of torturing, injuring, abandoning, or starving an animal. His arrest comes after he discovered his dog had died in the bed of his pickup as he and his family drove from Reno to Pahrump. Nye County deputies responded to the report of a deceased animal at the intersection of Basin Avenue and Dahlia Street last Friday, June 4th. Deputies say that's where they met Smith, who was visibly upset. Smith told them he and his family were coming to Pahrump for a vet appointment. The dog was being seen for tumors. Smith went on to explain they stopped at the Area 51 Alien Center on US 95. As they prepared to leave, Smith says the dog refused to get back into the cab and fought against his efforts. He told deputies he then put the dog into the bed of the truck for the remainder of the drive to Pahrump. Smith said he last saw the dog up and moving around on Highway 160 near Roadrunner. He told deputies by the time they arrived at Walmart, the dog had died. Nye County Animal Control officers at the scene determined the dog had a temperature in excess of 109 degrees. Deputies say the dog was not protected from the sun in the bed of the pickup. They did observe food and a bowl that Smith said had water in it in the bed. Animal Control officers note the outside temperature was 109 degrees, and the National Weather Service had issued an excessive heat warning that day.
We'll be back with more News 25. Stay close.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. There's good news for people in the early stages of Alzheimer's. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, the FDA has approved a drug to slow progression of the disease. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Marwan Shubha took part in the drug trials.
Aducanumab is what's called a monoclonal antibody. It's an IV-infused manufactured protein that actually is supposed to find the amyloid in the brain and the body and grab it and remove it.
Amyloid is a protein that forms in the brain and over time creates plaques, which are believed to damage brain structures, leading to what we know as dementia. This new drug targets amyloid and removes it during the very beginning stages of Alzheimer's to slow damage to the brain. It does not reverse damage that's already been done or improve symptoms, but it may give people more time before advanced dementia sets in.
It's a very groundbreaking opportunity. You know, we in the field have been waiting, and not just physicians and scientists, but patients and caregivers have been waiting for some really impactful, meaningful treatment. I want to emphasize that this drug does not make people better, but it does slow the decline.
The new treatment is an IV infusion given monthly.
Thanks to Brad for that report. Well, today's Save a Pet, we're back at Desert Haven Animal Society. That's where we catch up with Darby O'Donnell, who explains how you can adopt a pet this weekend for free.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Rob and his new adoption, Mando, for the Maddie's Pet Adoption. So, you missed it today, but we're going to still be doing it all Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. here at Desert Haven Animal Society. Adoption fees are completely free. All you have to pay for is the Nye County licensing, which is only $10. What do you think about your new puppy?
I'm really excited to have him. He was just neutered, so I'm looking forward to being able to take the cone off of him, and he's going to be my new BFF.
I'm sure he's super excited to go home for his forever home. If you want to come and see any puppies or kitties or any of the other animals here at Desert Haven Animal Society, come on by on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and get a free adoption. You just got to pay for the licensing, $10. That's it. 11 to 5 at Desert Haven Animal Society on Seary Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse, or you can check them out on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Other shelters in town are also having the Maddie's Pet Adoption Day as well.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, good evening. It's John Kohler staring out the KPVM weather window at the American Eagle Cam, looking at the Las Vegas Strip. Going to be a hot weekend. You might want to carry some extra water with you on your travels.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. And what a glorious day. I called Guinness Book, and I'm going to make him record it as the best day ever up and down the state. Check it out from Fernley all the way down to Goldfield. Mid to low 80s for high temperatures, with the notable exception of Carson City, where somebody left the fridge door open. Shame on you. Beatty, you're looking at 89 degrees. Amargosa, 93. Las Vegas, 98 degrees. I want it that way. Is that 98 degrees? I forget. 103 out in Death Valley. And here in the Paradise of Pahrump, where the air is pure and the grass is green and irrigated. 92 big sweltering degrees. 93 was our high today. Winds kind of dead calm, actually, about south-southwest, to 9 miles per hour as the sun rose in its glory this morning at 5:25 a.m. It'll set this evening at 8:01. Just so little precious bit of night to enjoy as we head towards the summer solstice on 6:21. Wind's going to stay calm, about east-southeasterly to 7 miles per hour, and the humidity staying down. It's going to be clear skies tonight. Beautiful star watching as we head into the weekend. Oh, God, look at this, triple digits. Nothing but, and getting worse all the time. Starts at 101 degrees on Saturday. We're going to add some wind to the mix. Won't that be fun? And then Monday, clouds. Woo, lots of clouds. I don't know if it's going to add to the swelter. We're actually getting a little bit of summer rain, but wouldn't that be nice at 112 degrees like we're seeing later in the week? Oh, we're doomed to be human jerky, but let's all enjoy the ride, shall we? Heading back to the desk, it's Missy and Deanna.
All right.
We have a lot to tell you about.
I know.
We laid it all out so we wouldn't lose or forget anything.
All right, so Maddie's Pet Adoption Days. We have to tell you, we told you about Desert Haven a little bit earlier, and of course they're having it there right there on Siri Lane, and that's tomorrow. Who else? Who else is having an adoption?
Well,
events?
we've got Maddie's Pet Adoption Days happening at Tales of Nye County. They're going to be doing it at All Creatures Animal Hospital, and that is Saturday and Sunday noon. Saturday and Sunday, June 11th and 12th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's at All Creatures at 1601 East Basin.
And that one is, they're just doing Friday and Saturday.
Oh, okay, Friday, Saturday, okay.
And so we got to keep them on track because we got all these
There's
Maddie's
so many.
days. So Never Forgotten Animal Society is doing theirs, and that's at 520 East Street, and that's going to be happening on Saturday as well. And then we have one other one.
Yeah, Maddie Days at Ian Deutsch Park, 1600 Honeysuckle. Pets are worth saving, and you can go there 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. the 11th and 12th as well. And that's free adoptions. All you're paying is the registration fee for $10. What a deal. And you just might not know your very best friend in the whole wide world might be at one of these events.
These are so important because all these adoption fees are being paid for by the Maddie's Project. If you want to find out, you want to donate, you can go to Maddie's Project and find out more. But there's an event on Sunday that we want to tell you about real quick. That is the Pride event happening at the Prump Nugget. That's from 11 until 4. It's for the LGBTQ community and their allies. Come on down. Vendors, games, entertainment, refreshments, right there at the Prump Nugget inside their event center. We'll see you down there, and we'll tell you all about all this and more on Monday's newscast.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We hope you have a very wonderful and safe weekend.
Good night.